Guys, Mike and I were very lucky to attend the New Zealand premiere of T2 Trainspotting along with director Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
And along with this film, the original cast returns as well, with Ewan McGregor,
Robert Carlyle,
Ewan Brenner.
Johnny Lee Miller.
That's it. Yeah. And so this film takes place 20 years after the original.
Yeah.
And so Renton, played by Ewan McGregor, comes back to Scotland to kind of reconnect with his old mates, and just shenanigans follow. This film reunites director Danny Boyle with Ewan McGregor since 1997's A Life Less Ordinary, which is a long time ago because Danny Boyle's first three movies, Shallow Grave, Trainspotting, and A Life Less Ordinary, was with Ewan, and they seemed like they were going to be the Scorsese and De Niro kind of partnership. So a follow-up to Trainspotting is a very tough task, I imagine. I mean, the fact that you've waited 20 years to make another movie is I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know, I had only watched it once when I was 15.
Yeah.
And then so I rewatched...
It's a tender age.
It's a tender age, but I wasn't part of that crowd. It's a cult classic, obviously. It's got a massive following. And I didn't get that. I had to rewatch it just before we went to go see the sequel. I rewatched it just to touch up on what happened in the first movie.
Because the film takes place almost straight after.
Yeah.
In a way. Even though it's set 20 years later, it still takes place... they do tell you in the movie as well. You could watch the sequel and not really watch the first one. I think it's a really good idea that they decided to do this film 20 years later. I think it was more impactful that they did it 20 years later rather than 10 years later. Yeah. I think seeing them aged at that time where they were in their teens and now they're in their mid-40s.
Yeah, there's enough time there for the characters to really change who they are and the decisions they made with their life after the end of the first one. Yeah. A lot of the characters' lives took all different directions. Yeah. In 20 years, they've worked out some for the good, some for the bad.
Yeah. And it's fine. Sometimes the characters like Sick Boy or Spud, for example, they've had sprinkles of great times. But it always ends up being they've screwed up or they've done something bad, which is kind of straight back to when they were younger and they were just they still almost haven't learned the lessons, but they've learned other lessons as well.
People don't change.
People don't change. Tiger don't change his stripes. So it was really cool seeing Big B come back. It's cool seeing Spud. It's cool seeing Sick Boy and Renton. Just the four mains come back. It was just a joy, and the chemistry with these guys is awesome.
Yeah, pretty funny. The first one had a lot of humour in it. Yeah. If anything, this might have been slightly funnier.
What's brilliant about the Trainspotting movies is that it's directed and it's a very visceral movie. The cinematography is edgy, a lot of Dutchies, a lot of Dutch angles. The cinematographer Anthony Dodd Mantle, who's worked with Boyle since Slumdog and 28 Days Later and all that kind of stuff, so he's got that real edgy kind of way of moving, and it works really well with the drug situation, characters being all weird and kind of
spaced out.
Yeah. So visually it's a very beautiful looking movie, and there's a
continuity between the first one and the second
yes,
one.
Yes, you're
even though
absolutely
it's
right.
a different VOP.
Well, yeah, and they shot on film obviously for the first Trainspotting, and they've shot digital, and it works with this contemporary day and age and the situation there and the whole Twitter environment and the Facebook, and so the digital stuff works really, really well.
The style overall is really strong. The soundtrack is sort of in a similar vein.
Yes.
A lot of new songs, and I think there's remixes of the same
They do
songs.
these remixes like Iggy Pop, Lust for Life stuff. Yeah. And that was one thing that was so cool about the first movie is that the soundtrack was perm. It was awesome. And one of my biggest worries going into it was I hope they can do a good job with the soundtrack. And they do. The soundtrack's cool. They grab new kind of young artists to do music as well as bringing back some oldies, which is great. Yeah, man. You can expect to hear some Blondie, you can expect to hear some Queen, still some Iggy Pop and stuff like that. Yeah. So don't feel like you're going to miss out on the music. The music's definitely there. Yeah. And that's definitely a positive for me.
Nailed that.
The decisions that were made in the screenplay, narratively worked really, really well. They took references and similarities from the first movie and worked really nicely about someone screwing people over and all that.
Yeah, or the girl he picks up in the nightclub in the first one. Yeah. And when I saw the trailer and I saw that she was in it, I was like, why would she be in it?
Exactly.
And I was sort of worried that they had gone over the top with trying to bring old characters back. Yeah. It was actually quite subtle the way they work her in there.
Yeah, it was. I totally agree. And Big B being a total nutcase. Yeah. Robert Carlyle, dude, is just so good at that role, and he's so vicious, and just the way he talks, and he's just he just calls everyone he sees the C word. Yeah. It's so vicious, but he's just again, these characters have not changed really. No. And again, that was a big part of it. And it's so cool seeing them together. The only really thing that kind of didn't do it for me, and that I felt there was a few pacing issues during the middle that I felt lagged and kind of was a little bit slow at points.
To get to the point of some of the confrontations.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to see a bit more conflict, and it felt like they were just kind of getting dragged along a little bit more.
Yeah.
That was the only kind of issues I had with it. Otherwise, it was a very strong flick.
My main thing was it seemed like in the first one, it's funny, it's very stylish, like the way they shoot it, the soundtrack.
Shocking too as well.
Well, this is the thing. They sort of balance humour with a really visceral portrayal of drug use. They don't beat around the realities
of what it is.
They really go deep on what it means to take drugs.
Yeah.
I actually felt like they scaled down on focusing on the drug use in this one. But they don't really highlight the massively negative effects that it can have on someone's life.
Totally.
And the first one is almost about that.
Yeah. This one's more about the conflicts and relationships that have caused them trouble away. Which is a very good point. And I think because back in the early 90s when heroin was a big thing, like heroin and cocaine now, everyone's like, what's that?
It's also, the first one is quite an intense experience to take in. If you take into account all of that drug use stuff. The second one is way less intense on that side. Yeah. Emotionally, you'll be fine. Yeah. But it's maybe funnier. It's a bit more of a caper and some more action. And Spud's character is quite interesting, what they do with him.
Yeah, Spud has a big turn in this movie, which is very cool. And I'm happy they kind of focused on him because he was very one that was left in the shadows very much. And that was his character as well in the first one.
And they really go into... his character really goes into depth and takes a lot of turns.
Yes.
And it's pretty central.
Yeah. Overall, guys, Trainspotting 2 was a really good time for me. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the first movie. Any movie Danny Boyle makes, I'm gonna watch it, and usually all of his films that he makes are just at a high quality. Yeah. And I love seeing Ewan McGregor back, teaming up together. Yeah. Visually outstanding, love the soundtrack. I was right in with the content. It is an adult movie. It's definitely not a Pixar film. So I definitely recommend you check it out, and if you can see it at the cinemas, because it's definitely to me a very cinematic movie. But I'll definitely be picking it up on Blu-ray. And if I had to give it a score out of 10, I'm gonna go for a 7 out of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna say I really liked the movie. I wasn't caught up in the cult hype of the first one, so I'm coming at it from watching the first one on the Friday night and then watching the second one on the Saturday night. So I have I have the two side by side. Now the first one I definitely think is better.
It's honestly it's a hard one to beat. Again, like all first movies,
and it's much more powerful and impactful than the second one. But the second one's super enjoyable. Love the soundtrack, love the cinematography, it's funny, and I'm going to be boring and say 7 out of 10 also. Not just because you did it.
Great minds think alike.
Oh, well, I know, but 7 out of 10 for sure. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on a review for T2 Trainspotting, and thank you, Mike, for joining us, man. What a really, really great time. Guys, please check out our channel. We've got some film reviews and some top 5 movies you can check out, along with some short skits that we do as well. And also, please follow us on social media. Choose Facebook, choose Twitter, choose Instagram.
Choose life.
And choose Jovial Entertainment.